Hello YouTubers, sorry I haven't released very many videos over the last sort of week and a half, but no, that's not coronavirus, that's a cold that my daughter brought home from school. We've all been full of snotty noses and I don't know what, but it's affected my arthritis extremely bad, and I had a flu jab last week as well, which I don't think has helped. So I just really wanted to come to you and show you. Recently, if you look back in some of my videos, I released a shopping haul where I went to the works and I ordered a load of this Das clay. Let me just move that up slightly. A load of this Das clay. It's air dry, so you have to be very, very careful with it because obviously you don't want it to dry out and things like that. But I'm actually just coming to you today and just doing a review for you so you can see the difference between the Das Works clay and the Fimo. Now, I know they're very, very different. One's obviously air dry, one's oven dry. But what I wanted to show you was how disappointed I am with the Das Junior air dry clay. The colours, when you finished using it, do not pop at all. Not in the slightest. It's difficult to get two balls and put them together without big crease and crack marks in it. It's just not what I'm just not very, very, very happy with it at all. For what I do, I like to do. I found out a couple of presses and I found out a mould, so you can see what I mean. But I like to sculpt and things as well, and it just doesn't work for that at all. When you look at the two colours, this comes out really crispy before it goes in the oven. When it comes out the oven, I'm a big Fimo fan. This does not. Even when you leave it to dry, it takes 48 to 72 hours. Well, if you said 2 days, that would be fair, to make sure it's solid. And it just looks like it's white and, what's the word I'm looking for? Stressed. Is how it looks. And it doesn't matter how many times I take it through the pasta machine, it just doesn't go together properly. There's just no. I mean, I've just made some makeup, Fimo makeup, which I did do in this first, and it looked absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. In the end, I used this because I did a makeup bag as part of it. I used this as the inside, so I didn't have to use all my Fimo, so I could coat it on the outside with the Fimo. So I'm just very disappointed with it. So, and you can't, and they can't say that basically when I use it, I don't close it down properly, because I do. I mean, look, I opened that a couple of days ago. As long as you fold it down, close it down. I mean, I've just opened this one up before I come onto the video. And I had it all taped down and everything. See, look, that sort of shows you what I mean. I fold it over, tape it down, and then put cling film around the top, and then put a hairband around that as well. Right, so let me show you what I mean. So let's take a chunk of this one off. And my husband's sneezing, he's not very well either. My daughter seems to have bought it home, and now we're all ill. Okay. So I like to fold it back over. I don't leave anything to chance. If I'm not using it at that exact moment, I cover it over. Because I don't want, it's hard enough to work with as it is without making it extra hard, if that makes sense. I mean, I bought quite a large amount of all the Das clay because I thought it'd be alright. I was happy because it was air dry, it meant I didn't have to keep firing up the cooker. But no, very, very, very disappointed. Okay, so straight away, I've got a lump of something in there. Straight away you can see, like when you use the Fimo, you sort of wiggle it about and do what you need to do with it, and then you can roll it and you can sculpt with it like you would do. Even Das air dry clay, the actual clay, is really good. But this is what I mean, if you can see that. Things like that. The cracks. Now if I put this through the pasta machine, which we'll do now, let's put it in on number 3, seems to recondition really really nicely. So we'll run it through. Bearing in mind, what it is nice with it, which is why I was so disappointed with it, is it's really nice and soft. So for like my arthritis and things like that, it's very, very nice. So I don't have an issue. Ooh. Oh, sorry. It's because my pasta machine's just slightly to the side. Okay, so it comes out really soft, really nice. I mean, it went in really soft in all fairness. So you probably wouldn't need to. That's one thing I would say is a plus. You wouldn't need to pasta machine it when it first comes out of the packet. And that's immediately out of the packet. It's very, very nice and soft. So putting it through the pasta machine just gives it that little bit of extra. But I don't think it does anything. Because it's already set. Let me take my wedding ring off because that's not fair. Okay. So I'm going to roll it up. Pushing down, I've got quite a bit of pressure on it because I'm trying to sort of squeeze it together. But see what I mean. That goes all the way around it, look. And it just doesn't seem to... So now I'm going to use a little bit of the Fimo. We'll just have a look. Although it's quite a different clay, it's kind of the same. And you don't have to wrap all this up. It's still nice and it doesn't spoil if it's not wrapped up because it's oven dry. And sometimes it can be quite hard if it's cold when I go back to get it out, if I haven't covered it over properly. But that's also okay because by the time you put it through the pasta machine, it's okay. I'm only going to cut a little piece of this off because I don't need a huge amount. I'm going to stick it back down because I don't want it to get dirty. That's the only reason I stick mine down. And I've got little tubs which I put them into, if you can see at the back there. They're on my Fimo tubs. There's not massive amounts there, but it works well. Okay. Right, so we're going to go over to the pasta machine, I think, now. Just run it through, because it's quite hard. And when you put it through, always make sure when you fold it in half that the fold goes to the side. That way then you won't trap any air bubbles in there. Well, it'll be less air bubbles if you get any. You can't say you're not going to get any because that's not fair. Okay, now we're going to come back over here. Okay, so there's the Fimo. So I only put it through a few times. It could probably do with going in more than that. So if you just... Oh, I've lost me... Looks like a red nose. I've lost me dust clay. And immediately, no cracks. Nothing. Nothing at all. So for sculpting, it's really good. And because obviously it doesn't dry until you put it in the oven, that works extremely well as well. It means you can just keep playing about and playing about and playing about with it. If it gets too sticky, you can either wait and leave it for a bit or put it in the fridge or in the freezer until it goes a bit harder. But this, it just doesn't matter how much. I mean, if you knead it together, look. So I did get some blue out to try as well, but I don't really want to open my blue Fimo at the moment. I wanted to stick to the same colour so you could see the difference between the two. There are some other makes out on the market which I'm going to have a go at trying, which I will come back to you with reviews. I won't say any names at the moment because I want to get it first. Oh, I've managed to... Oh no, I haven't. See, little smiley face, and it's covered in cracks. When you try and like hide them, it just opens up more. It doesn't. It just is. I'm so disappointed with it. So disappointed. I was so excited. Okay, so that's... See, look, but then another one just appears. Doesn't matter how hard you try. The other thing I thought was we'd have a look at doing just a few stamps with each of them, just to see what sort of thing we're up against. Okay, so does, I was going to say iron out then, it does roll out well. Oh, I can hear the kettle going. Oh, lovely. Okay, and I found 2 stamps, heart and a flower. So I thought I'd just see what it stamps out like. I think it probably stamps out very well. It's a bit thick. Yeah, a bit thick. But that you can't fault. Okay, now I know that the Fimo stamps out great, so I don't need to do anything with that. The difference is, I will say, for this part of it, it's easier to get into the moulds to make your flowers. But what I have discovered is that if you don't make sure you've got enough in there to start with, what ends up happening is you can't add to the back of it, not like you can do with the Fimo. So we just push it in. Just keep working it in, take off any excess, and just keep working it. Now, with the Fimo, if you find that you haven't put in enough, oh look, the little coffee fairy's been. If you haven't put in enough, you can just put some more on the top. This one you can't tend to do that because it peels off. And it does go into the mould, but not as great as the Fimo's in there and it's whip whap whop and it's done and it's, you know, you're pushing it out. But let's, I mean, I've got a lot of this to use up, as you saw when I bought it. Now some of it I have taken back, and I would never take clay back. I have a bit of a clay, I like clay, but the unopened packets I took back, which was only 6, I'd managed to open all the others. So there we go, look. Now can you see at that side, that's come out okay. That's very, very pleasing. And the back of it doesn't look too bad either. So perhaps what we'd be perhaps better off doing is using what, because I've got a lot of this left, using this for moulds and things. And seeing how we go with that, with moulds and stencils. But for sculpting it just really doesn't work. It just cannot cope with it, the compound. It just can't sort of roll back. It's connecting itself to itself. It's sticking together. See, look, immediately now, because I've had that out for a couple of minutes. See, look, that now is shockingly unusable. You can squeeze it together really tight, really hard. Roll it in your hand again. And there it is again. Okay. So I just really wanted to come back and just let you know really what sort of thing that I'm using, what I have trouble with, and what the reviews really were, and my thoughts on the Dash Junior air dry coloured clay. I was very excited when I got this, as I say, and then to find that it just, I don't know, very disappointing. It is on sale at the moment at the works. It was £2 for 100 grams, which is a great price. And I think it's down to £1.50 or £1.60. Not all the colours, but some of them at the works. So it is worth it if you're going to do a lot of stenciling, or you're going to do a lot of like bits like this. I wouldn't want to put stencils and roll it into stencils, because I don't know how that would even work out. I don't think it probably would do very well at all. But for using moulds and things and cutters, I think that's acceptable, and I think that's probably what I shall use it for. What the rest I've got left now. So thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos, and I have got some coming. I'm making a couple of Christmas gnomes, 3 Christmas gnomes later, which I will show you the ones I've already done. And if you go over to my Instagram page, you can see the 3 I've already done, and the makeup that I made, and that was all out of Fimo. And I'll show you how to do that later. So please subscribe, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will speak to you later. Thanks for watching.